All right, let's just start with this because it's wild. Imagine implanting a chip into your own hand, for a cool party trick. But then you forget the password. Suddenly, you're not just locked out of an account. You are literally locked out of a piece of your own body. This sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's the real story of a magician named Zi Teng Wang.
And that story right there, it just perfectly captures what we're talking about today. You can have all the fancy firewalls and the best encryption in the world, but the biggest wild card, the most exploitable part of any system, well, it's us, the human beings using it.
So, let's kick things off by digging into that idea. Why is it that with all this incredible tech at our fingertips, we are still the weakest link in the security chain?
So back to our magician. He put this RFID chip in his hand for a really simple, clever trick. He wanted to show people a meme when they scanned it with their phone. But then the link to the meme died and he realized he had no idea what the password was. It was just gone. So now this chip is just a useless, dead piece of tech permanently stuck inside his hand. It's his own personal cyberpunk nightmare.
And, this human element, it fails in two very different ways. On one side, you've got the honest mistake. Get this, the International Association of Cryptologic Research, we're talking the world's top experts on this stuff, they had to cancel their entire leadership election because one of their trustees just lost a decryption key. It happens to the best of us. But then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have pure malice. A fired IT guy who was so angry he posed as an old coworker, reset thousands of passwords, and racked up over $862 grand in damages. Two totally different reasons, both totally human.
And look, it's not just these big, complex systems. We fail at the absolute basics. A recent analysis found that for most people, the most popular password is 123456. But for Gen Z, it's actually one digit shorter, 1234. And this isn't about dunking on one generation. It just shows this deep, universal laziness we all seem to have when it comes to protecting ourselves.
And just how bad is that laziness? Well, a computer can crack a password like 123456 or that other favorite, skibidi, instantly. Not in a few seconds, instantly. The point is, these aren't even passwords. They're just unlocked doors we're choosing to leave wide open.
Okay, so take that fundamental human weakness we just talked about, and now imagine amplifying it on a massive scale with the most powerful tool we've ever built, AI. It is truly a double-edged sword, and it's making everything happen faster, both the good and the bad.
On the one hand, the promise is just incredible. There's a new U.S. federal initiative. They're calling it the Genesis Mission, and it's basically a Manhattan Project-level effort to use AI and government data to fast-track huge scientific breakthroughs. We're talking fusion energy, quantum science, the whole shebang. The goal is to make AI the engine of American research.
Right, so that's the good side. But you have to ask, who else is building with this stuff? Because the same tech that can create a better future can also be turned into a weapon.
And yep, the answer is already out there. The Pentagon, through U.S. Cyber Command, is sinking millions into a very secretive startup called 20 to build AI systems that can launch offensive cyber attacks completely on their own. We're talking about automating attacks that used to take teams of humans weeks to pull off. It's a whole new kind of warfare, fought at the speed of machines. And the attacks themselves are getting so sophisticated. Researchers just found this new vulnerability called an echogram attack. Think of it like a secret handshake for a malicious prompt. You tack on this little sequence of text, these flip tokens, and it basically tells the AI's safety filter, hey, let this one through, even when it's designed to cause harm.
The way it works is kind of deceptively simple. The bad guy writes a harmful prompt, they stick these special flip tokens at the end, and poof, it sails right past the safety system that's supposed to stop it. And this works on the big guys like GPT-4 and Claude, which just goes to show that the AI we trust to be safe might have these quiet, hidden backdoors.
And this is not some theoretical lab experiment. Right now in Windows 11, Microsoft's new Copilot Actions is an AI that can directly read and write files on your computer. Your documents, your pictures, it has access. And get this, Microsoft itself is warning that this feature can be hijacked by malware to steal your data. The company that built the tool is telling us to be careful.
So with all these new tools and all these new threats, how are governments and big global groups trying to keep up? Well, this is where we enter the new battlegrounds, where the rulebook for our digital world is being completely rewritten as we speak.
And things are getting messy. There's this big controversy brewing where the NSA is being accused of trying to push a weaker security standard through the group that basically sets the rules for the internet. The claim is that they rushed a vote, ignored a bunch of experts who were raising red flags, and basically tried to force through a new form of encryption that could make the entire internet less secure in the long run. Of course, sometimes the threat isn't a super complex algorithm, it's just linked in. The UK's intelligence agency, MI5, just put out a public warning that Chinese spies are creating fake professional profiles to get close to British officials and lawmakers to gather intelligence. Old-school espionage for the social media age.
And then you have the complete opposite approach. In response to all these new threats, NATO is going full tech. They're paying Google to build them a completely air-gapped cloud. That means it's a digital fortress, totally disconnected from the public internet, to protect their most sensitive data.
And on a level that affects all of us, Europe is trying to fix something we are all so tired of, those endless cookie pop-up banners. The plan is simple. You would just set your privacy settings one time in your browser, and then every website would legally have to respect that choice. The goal isn't just to get rid of the annoying banners, but to actually give us real control over our data.
So what does this all mean for our jobs, for our day-to-day lives? Honestly, history gives us a pretty good roadmap. Back in the 90s, everyone was terrified the internet would destroy all the jobs. It didn't. What it did was rewire almost every job, right? It automated boring tasks and created totally new industries. And that's probably the best model we have for AI. It's not going to replace us wholesale. It's going to reshape our jobs from the inside out, handling the routine stuff and leaving the uniquely human things like judgment, creativity, and relationships to us.
And I guess that brings us to the final big question. We've seen how our own human flaws just don't go away, how AI is this incredible amplifier for both our best and worst instincts, and how everyone is just scrambling to write the new rules. Our tools are getting smarter at an absolutely exponential rate. But are we? Is our wisdom, our foresight, is that keeping up?